Good evening. Let's talk about progressive politicians. It seems like everybody is a progressive politician when they are vying for your vote. But when I graduated high school at 17, I'm 41 years old. So I am far removed from institutional learning at the K through 12 level. Progress, something that gives you motion. No matter how you feel about it, you get motion in one direction or the other. But what I want you to focus on, something important, is that a lot of politicians come out and they say, hey, I want to do a lot for everybody. That's progressive politics. Things that like address inequalities, promote social justice, benefits of economic growth that are shared amongst like all segments of society. Some of these progressive politics involve economic reform, social welfare, environmental protection, healthcare, education, civil rights, campaign finance, and electoral reform, right? Those are just some of the areas. Anybody can get behind that sounding good. So how does it all keep turning out bad? This is the main reason that we need to have a relationship with our politicians. The individuals who come out like myself and say, hey, I want to work for you and I want to grow with you and I want you to grow with me and guide me. I, again, put out a lot of topics that are policy driven. I have a video that talks about policies versus legislation. Again, policies are literally just guidelines. They're not legislation. These individuals, including myself, can flip-flop their policies. And that is the problem. We don't have anything that says, hey, if you run on this policy or you've stated verbally that this is what you're going to do, and you don't do that, the best we have as citizens is to call you a liar. And citizens are saying that's not enough. You told us you would do this. You told us you would bring some form of reformation, and you didn't do that. Matter of fact, when you got in office, you touted about all this money that you made. Well, how was that helping any citizens? How has any candidate that has come out to you and has said, hey, I've raised, or somebody has reported on them raising $1 million here, hundreds of $1,000s here. How has that benefited you? That's the issue. That's where me coming out saying, hey, you will not hear that I have raised $1 million. I'm not going to try to raise 100. I'm not asking anybody for any money. I'm asking you to turn to your circle and say, hey, we need to drive this candidate as hard as we can. This candidate has to answer my question as an individual. We need to push this candidate to his max and beyond. He wants to have a relationship with us. We're going to put him through the ringer. We're going to bring more people than he can handle. And we're going to make him multitask. And we're going to make him work. These 2 years that he wants to build a following that is going to vote for him in Florida, we're going to make him earn it because he's asking us to. And we deserve a candidate that is going to earn our trust and respect, so that if our candidate tells us that we need to vote a certain way or put somebody in a place or not put somebody in a place, because we have a relationship with that candidate, we can all get behind that. We know that there are issues, but one thing that we need to do is have a candidate that is for the people and not the money. That's very important, to have a candidate that is for the people and not the money. Progressive politics sounds wonderful when you look at the areas. Then we start to get into how we reform or regulate those policies so that on both ends of the spectrum, both ends simply meaning conservatives and liberals, because we do have that group of individuals, that we can do something that benefits us all. What we continue to see at all levels of government is a left and a right hand that seem to be trying to tear away from a main body. The main body should be the people, but the main body is the finances. It is not the people. I'm a candidate asking the main body to be the people. I'm running for governor of Florida so that if the people don't agree, a bill that wants to be legislation will get a veto from me if the people do not agree. Because that simply means that if a bill came up and we put out the information and the majority of Floridians say we do not agree, it should not come into place because we didn't do a good enough job making sure that it was beneficial for the majority. That's important. That is what governance is about. What works for the majority. I just want you guys to get behind that. So when I say, hey, work with me and let's work together, it means let your circle know that Rodney Christopher Glover, running for governor of Florida in 2026, needs us to tap in to what he's saying so that we can decide if he's going to be our representative or not. You won't see him on billboards. You won't see him on a lot of different things unless he does something in his personal life that is going to garner him the cash flow to buy all of the media necessary. Otherwise, we are his voice. We are going to speak his name, and we're going to make sure that when those polls come, if he is a write-in candidate, that we know his name to write it in properly. You guys have a great evening.